Okay, welcome back. This is video 2 of our Creating the Working Drawing series. And in this video, we're going to do the dimensioning that I was talking about in the last one. So we're going to put the sizes that we require in order to make this product. So we have to think about the maker in this case. So the maker would want to know things like how thick the board is and how wide the board is and how long the board is, things like that. And then they would also want to know the individual board widths so you could make them at the table saw. So we're going to start putting those in. Dimension is where we want to start. Pick linear, which restricts us to horizontal or vertical distances. So we'll go down here. Now, we have to decide where these are best placed. You can put them all over the place, and generally the rule of thumb is you put all your dimensions, as many as you can, on one view. You move to another view for the ones that wouldn't work on that view, and the last view you try and leave alone. So let's say the thickness would definitely have to be on this view. So I'm going to click this corner. I'll zoom in a bit so you can see what's going on. I'll click this corner and it's snapped, and I'll snap to this corner, and then I'll pull outwards. So that shows me it's 0.75. Now right away I see there's a bit of a problem. I need to change from decimal to fractions because fractions are easier read off of our ruler. So what you want to do here is head up to your sheet size up here and click this, or sorry, sheet settings. Oh, sorry, document settings. That's what I want. Click this little arrow. And then at the end of your document settings, there's this, I don't know what this is supposed to be, but this little thing that pops up at the end of any one of these, doesn't matter which one, double click it. When you do that, you get this little menu over here. And this menu allows you to change things about the dimensioning process. So what we want to change is we don't want decimals, we want fractions. And then what's our precision going to be? Because it's going to round up. So we don't want to start rounding up at 1/4 inch. We're going to have a precision of 1/16 of an inch. Push OK. So now you can see that we have a 3/4 inch board, not a 0.75 board. Okay, so next one, more of this dimensioning thing. So we'll go and dimension the outer sizes of this. So linear dimension. And this seems to be the view that I'm going to have to dimension the overall size. So I'm going to click these two corners and drag down. I'm going to click these two corners and drag out. So now you can see I have an 11 and 15/16 by 14 inch overall size. Now the next thing I'm going to need is I'm going to need the width of all these boards. So let's see what we can do there. Let's go dimension between linear dimension, there to there. Okay. And now there's another thing we can invoke. If I go under dimension, I can go baseline dimension, where it says select an existing linear dimension, then specify a point for the new dimension. So if I pick this, I can go from this dimension to that one, and this dimension to that one. Now that might be useful in some instances to locate all those different boards, but it's certainly not going to tell me, I'm going to hit escape now, it's certainly not going to tell me what the individual board widths are. So that was just a neat feature, but let's actually throw in individual board widths now. So let's go back up to linear dimension, click that one, pull out, that one goes there. And if you recall, this makes sense because we made all those boards the same width. Now, these ones are a little different. They're going to be very narrow. So let's go like there. I have to zoom in to get these probably. Hit escape. I got to try that again. Dimension, linear dimension, from there to there, and pull. So I'm going to put this one out a little further because I know what's about to happen. And then I'm going to put a dimension, linear dimension from here to here. Every single board needs a width shown so that the person knows what to make. And then I'm going to do another linear dimension from there to there. And then the last one's going to go from there to there. Okay, now notice up here things got a bit messy. Everything's jumbled up. So I'm going to hit escape on my keyboard and make sure I'm not dimensioning anymore. And I'm going to see if I can fix this a little bit. If I click on the dimension, I get a bunch of gray boxes which says I can adjust some stuff. If you click on the gray box that's by the actual number and drag it, you can relocate it. So in this case, I'm relocating it below the actual extension lines, they call those. Okay, so this one here looks like it needs to be relocated by clicking the arrows box and drag it out a bit so that it's separate from this one. And then my last one, and your design might be totally different, so you don't have all this trouble, but my last one, this 3/4 here, how am I going to get that to look neat and tidy? Is that the last one I got to do, is the 3/4? Yeah, so it's kind of looking a bit of a mess there. Oh no, I have the 1 inch. So I got the 3/4 and the 1 inch. So maybe I'll pull this out even more, like that, and I'll pull this one out even more, like that. Then the 3/4 here, I could leave there. Let's see if I pull the 1 inch out like this. All right, that is still pretty messy. And I think if I do this one, if I pull this one out like this, and then I drop this dimension down by dragging it, and then I could bring this 1 inch back in. I'll put this one right in line with these ones. Whenever you can line up the dimensions, it's better. It looks neater and tidier. And if they won't line up, you zoom in a bit, and then it starts moving a little more precisely. Okay, so that's still not looking super cool. I got one more move I think I need to make. I'm going to drag this up here. And this is the downside to making something super compact. There is another way to do this, but this is good enough for what we want. So it's basically showing me that this board here is 3/4, this board's 1 inch, these boards are 1/8 of an inch each, and every other board is 3 5/16 wide. So that's all I need. Okay, so the last one I'm going to have you do, that would basically cover all the dimensions. We aren't going to bother dimensioning the drip groove other than we'll put that on later when we get to the CNC. We won't put it on this drawing. Okay, so now the last one I'm going to have you do, and by the way, you could have put the dimensions on this view, but we tried to put as many as we could on a single view. I'm going to put text on this. I'm going to have you write right on here, make a little text box, the type of wood you're going to use. So I'm going to use Eastern Maple. And again, you could look at the sample that I had there and decide what wood you are planning. So Eastern Maple, and then I can probably copy that and paste it somewhere here. I've never copied and pasted text, so I'm trying it on the fly here. You think it would work, but so maybe I just have to do it again. We'll put the text here, Eastern Maple, and then we'll do it again. Hit enter. Oh, don't hit enter, just hit close, and then we'll do it one more time. Eastern Maple, and push close. And now you click on these, you can get this little box and you can drag these around so they're pretty centered. Make them look pleasing. And now the last ones, I can't put a label on, maybe, I might be able to do it on the cherry here, but I wouldn't be able to do it on these walnut pieces that I'm going to use. So I need to put a note on here. So the note I'm going to put is, and I'm going to have to look for a location, maybe over here. I'll just put a little note saying, do this, 1/8 inch strips to be made from black walnut. That'll work. Hit close. So a little note, and then you can always put a leader to it if you want, like this. That's it. Close. So there we go. 1/8 inch strips to be made from black walnut. Everything else is Eastern Maple. And this one here, we can say, we'll just put a text leader in here, and we'll point to this line, and we'll come out, and we'll say cherry. I think that was my plan. And hit close. Okay, so what I've got is a working drawing. Now, always sit back and look at your drawing and see if it overall is well done. And when I say well done, I mean pleasing to the eye and nice and clear. Yes, it's a little complicated up here. I might be able to fart around with this a little bit and make it clearer, but good enough for now. But what I do think I should do is move this down a little bit by clicking the view and moving it down so there's a little more space above it, because it looked to me like, there we go. And now the words, they aren't going to move with that, so I'm going to have to move them individually. It just looked to me like it was a little high on the page. There we go. And now did these stay with theirs? Yes, they did. This one could come down a bit. There we go. And overall, we have ourselves a cutting board plan. You can rename things in the title block by double-clicking the title block. And you could rename this by over-typing it. And your name's automatically filled in from your account, and the date's automatically filled in, the scale's automatically filled in, and the project is Maker 9. There we go. Finished properties. I have made a drawing. That took no time at all. And then what you're going to do is you're going to output this drawing to a PDF, and that means portable document format, and you're going to save it to somewhere where you keep your projects, which should be in your Documents folder, and you should set up a new folder by right-clicking and go New Folder in your Documents folder, call this Maker 9. Put it inside there, call this your working drawing, PDF, save. You'll be able to print that PDF by opening it. So if I head here and I go to my documents, make sure that when you go to your Maker 9 folder that you right-click on your PDF and open with. So open with, you got to right-click right on it and say open with and choose Adobe Reader DC. That's the best way to do this. And now you're going to print it to our Classroom printer. So the Classroom printer, I don't have it on my home computer here, but it'll say room 507. So that's where you want to print it to. Make sure that you've selected the right landscape mode so you get the whole page before you print, because if you're like this, you're only going to get a portion of the page. That's portrait mode. And then print to the room 507 and you'll have your drawing. All right, that's all for now. Oh, one last thing. If I go back to Fusion, you have to save this drawing because it's a separate file. It will automatically save it to the same location as the model. It'll add the word drawing at the end, so you can just hit save. And when you do that, you'll get cutting board tutorial drawing. There we go. Everything's saved, everything's good. That's it. And then the next thing would be to actually start working on this project. That's all.